Hello, hello.
Hello.
It's just the two of us. I was
I
gonna
know.
start singing it, but I didn't want to get flagged at the very beginning.
Good call. Wait until the middle to sing just this.
This should be a really interesting episode because I'm so used to talking about the show, no holds bar with you. Like,
True.
and so Tanya always like gives me a little bit of grounding, like, oh yeah, I'm not in my living room. I need to like be nice. We'll see. Hopefully, this is not the last episode of Sunday Shift, but I can't promise.
You could go nuclear at any point.
So how are you doing?
I'm great. I had a great weekend. I went away. I was up on the Sonoma coast.
Sounds
Beautiful.
gorgeous.
Um, I did get hit by a wave on the beach. I found this like really idyllic waterfall just like trickling down the cliffside, and I kneeled down by the stream and was just like being with the land. I released a shell back to the ocean, and then
Mhm.
you know what the ocean did? Almost knocked me over with a wave out of nowhere.
Oh my God. Why was the ocean being shady to you?
I think the ocean was like, you know what? I think you're complete here. Go back in the house.
Okay.
But I did feel, anew afterwards. Might have also been the edibles that I ate, but
That I think it's both. Why not
yes,
both?
and
Slash
yeah.
both. Um, I stayed up till 5 a.m. taking my hair down, watching
Oh,
The Flash, but I did a very nice, it's like having a wrap today, but I did a very nice hair mask. Ugh, it was like apple cider vinegar and honey. And I was like, is your hair supposed to smell delicious? Because mine does.
yes. I love it.
It tingled all on my scalp. It was really good. So my hair is just like feeling great. And I'm in a good mood. So we should see what happens. And
I feel
Tanya
like both of
is,
us being in such good moods either means this episode we're going to be really nice or we're going to be extra wild, or maybe a combination of both. That's very confusing.
yeah, Tanya is at a play. So hopefully she is enjoying it. And I didn't even set an agenda. This is how chaotic I started being. Because usually I'll send something out like, this is what we're going to talk about. I sent out nothing, but we know how it goes.
I
Um,
extrapolated. Yes.
the other thing I wanted to talk about was like some of the best and worst from Soap Opera Digest.
Ooh.
Did you get that?
But
Sure,
I was
because you
off.
were having fun, enjoying
Yes.
real life,
I was like, not, this is not where my headspace was.
and I love that for you. Um, cool. Okay. Let me get into this recap. Um, Once I can find it, this is what happens. Okay, here we are. This is a short recap because I've been chilling. Um, Robert tells Laura the real story of what happened with Holly. Felicia leads them in finding codes in the diamond necklace. Valentine finds out that Lucy is alive and goes to Ireland to tell Anna. Martin, Martin tracks them down, and not far behind him is overzealous U.S. Marshal, who ends up knocked out while Vanna is again on the run together this time. Jeff Weber does a tour around town trying to be Liz's dad 25 years too late. He apologizes to Liz and seemingly question mark heads back to California. We don't want to, but I guess he's back. Um, Speaking of Liz, she continues to help Nicholas with keeping Esme locked in the tower. Finn questions whether Esme is on the Windermere grounds, leading him to question if Liz is pregnant after finding some prenatal vitamins. Let Niz 2.0 commence. Can't talk about Esme without talking about Ryan and Heather at Camp Prison. We find out Ryan and Heather used to be lovers, and that the last time he saw her, she was pregnant. Dun dun dun. Victor plants seeds of doubt with Ava, while also kind of hitting on her about her marriage before he goes to get Spencer from an early release from Pentonville. Also speaking as Neva, Sunny and Ryan with his eyes. I hate Neva too, so sure, let's go with it. We find out from Pentonville that despite Trina being his nemesis, Great Uncle Cyrus is a Sprina shipper, aren't we all? Spencer and Victor end up having dinner at the same restaurant where Trina and Rory are celebrating. I use that word loosely. Their 3-month anniversary. Of course, as soaps go, Spencer walks in when Rory tells Trina he loves her very loudly, and Trina says, "Pardon?" Anyway, Sunny finds out that Joss helped Dex during Anna's prison break. Michael tries to pay Dex to leave town and says the job is over, but Dex says he's close to taking Sunny down and wants to stay. Joss has a run-in with Nina that makes her think about her situation with Dex and our complex and caring Cameron. Haven't heard about him in a while. Britt plans a big birthday bash, and with no inheritance and no Mac Daddy, Cody plans on leaving town. He also talks to Dante about how bad it would be if secrets from their childhood were uncovered. I don't care. Jordan RSVPs no to the Curtis wedding, and Curtis starts working with Alexis to take down the hooker. And that was our week.
Wow. Curtis and his white women. You just can't get enough.
Curtis working with a white woman to undermine Jordan. Shocking. Groundbreaking. Curtis. Anyway, well, what did you think about the weekend? What was your favorite moment?
The week was all right. There were the usual stuff that doesn't work. But I felt like there were a few things that really caught my interest. And I thought the Friday episode was really, really good. It's kind of like the usual, oh, Sunny. Bleh. Ugh, Nina, why? Cody, how? But, other than that, there was a lot to keep my attention this week. I would say, favorite moment was Vanna on the run. How can
it not be?
They're just so hot.
How are they allowed?
I don't know. People have complained to the FCC. That's how unbearably hot they are. Yeah, I love that opening shot where it's Anna's point of view, but you don't know that it's Anna. And just the hello, stranger. Hello, darling. I'm so glad that they're on the run together now, but I do love the constant reunions when they're supposed to be apart. Y'all really can't stay away from each other. And I love how Anna was the one who was being a little thirsty, and Valentine was too preoccupied with her safety. He was I don't know, was this a bad idea? And she's like, well, you're here, so there's a couch. You know how we like couches. And I loved, even though Martin's hella annoying, foolish man, I do love the chemistry between those three actors because of their relationship, and the scene was entertaining even though the writing was very silly. Yes. And in the end, his incompetence did lead to Vanna finally being on the run together. So it's Martin still has a lot of penance to do, but I felt like there was a balance there. And now he's gonna who knows what's gonna happen with him now. I did also love when that agent was trying to get back up and he just put his out. He's like, no, you need a rest. That cracked me up. So it's like A+ for comedy, D- for plot, which that's you work with what you work with.
Right. Yeah, no, I love them. I'm sure we will talk more about Vanna because I have a lot of gushing to do about them. Um, the week was the week. It was fine. I wasn't offended too much. Um, so aside, obviously, I knew you were gonna say Vanna, so I didn't have to. Um, it was Jocelyn reading the hell out of Nina.
Oh,
Like, Nina, why are you explaining yourself to this 19-year-old?
can you imagine being a middle-aged woman and your nemesis is a 19-year-old?
Could never. Was, and I'm also like, was Nina not gonna let Jocelyn take her sister? What was about to happen? It, it was. I'm gonna talk about it now, so we don't have to talk about it later. Where are my notes from this? I just couldn't deal with. It was like when Josh was like, "Thanks for taking Sunny off my mom's hands." She's like, "I didn't take it off of anyone's hands, girl." I don't know anybody, like I don't like Nina. I don't really talk to people who like Nina. So, but I would assume that if you liked her, you couldn't like this.
Well, like we're dealing with a whole different like level of taste here. So don't use like your taste, like your good taste as like a reference for other people's bad taste.
It was like even at the end, she kind of was like clocking Dex and Joss with like when Joss read her and she's like, "How's Cam? You not embarrassed? You not embarrassed being a grown ass woman asking about a 19-year-old boy? Let that boy raise his two kids and work all his jobs."
Don't worry about Cam. If you're so worried about Cam, give him some money. He's poor.
I think he's about to get hooked, but that's just my own thought. I think he's gonna get hooked. Um, R.I.P. Cam. Um, so
Already? Can't prematurely RIP him.
I like Cameron. You know, he went from sweet, simple Cam to caring, compassionate Cameron. I don't see my boy making it.
Well, he's still standing now. No need to eulogize him just yet. We'll have plenty of time for that later.
So I can give out my performer of the week, and then how about you give one?
Sure.
Um, Allie Mills,
Yep, that's
just
it.
amazing. Her and John Lindstrom made my skin crawl. And
Yes.
it's so funny because I love a Kevlar scene. So like, I mean, I also give it up to John Lindstrom because the difference between Kevin and Ryan is so stark. I will never forget the time when you were like, maybe the actor who plays Ryan is busy. And I was like, Sandra, it's the same. It's the same actor. But like that's how stark it is. It is like a very good, like you forget. I was like, what is this criminal minds ass couple? Like this is like it's awful. But I want more. It when she like had him smell her soap, it was like I watched it like 3 times. It's wild.
It is.
Like the fact that Ryan would like confide in her, like this was a big Heather Weber is such a huge iconic role to step in. And the fact that like we all are like this woman is doing a great job, I think just speaks to her skill. Like
Yeah.
the level of skill and the level of care she is putting into this role is not unnoticed. So for me, performer of the week.
Yeah, that's it for me, honestly. Like I think a lot of folks did a really great job this week. There was, of course, Spencer and his uncles, which I'll talk about later. But like it was Allie Mills this week. It just was with
Yeah,
like, of course, with the support of John Lindstrom, but she also even made Jeff Weber seem semi-interesting. You know,
ooh,
she carried that. Like, so it was like she also carried the scene with Mo. She
true.
was very, very generous in the Heather and Sunny scene. And I think she's just brings something for her scene partners um to feed off of every time. And I just similarly, like, I was so creeped out, I wanted to look away, but I was like so intrigued by her performance I couldn't take my eyes off of her.
Right.
um and it yeah, her instincts are so great. Like, I look forward to seeing more interactions with them. Like, even I was already looking forward to it, and then I saw that scene and I was like,
This
what?
is like, this is creepy.
This
This is
is gonna be a
Halloween.
wild ride.
Do you think that we get Heather, Ryan, and pregnant Esme in a scene together? Woo.
Oh, Lord. Whew. Whew. It's gonna be weird as hell. But you know what? I'm here for it.
I'm here for the weird ass ride.
Yep. Yep.
Well, performer of the week. Look at us aligning. Boom. Things are. Um,
Check, check, check.
check, check. What is working for you, Sandra?
Well, first, I would say Spencer and his uncles. They continue to work for me.
Yes.
I think what's interesting about this is that they're both really compelling because they're both charismatic, complex villains. They're both villains that, like, you do believe that there is some care, or like there is some value that they have around family. Um, but I wouldn't call it love, because like that, like it's like a, a control, obsession. And so there is like a level of like care that they may kind of like interpret as like, this is me loving my family, but they're really like destructive. And obviously both have hidden motives for building a relationship with Spencer, but also some genuine care for him, as much as either character is capable of in their own limited ways. But they're also very different characters. Their
Mhm.
villainy is a different brands of villainy, but they're both like really likable, and you just get drawn in by the characterization. um and they have
Yeah.
different relationships with Spencer's family members and loved ones that are like very intertwined. And it's just, I don't know where the story is going, and knowing Chris and Dan, it might not go much of anywhere, but it has the
You
potential,
must.
and I'm intrigued right now.
Mhm. I was
um
gonna say really quick. I put up on our Instagram like a poll of asking like favorite Spencer great uncle, and I was actually really surprised. It was like a picture of Cyrus like pointing at Victor with Spencer in the middle, and Cyrus got 79%. And I was
hmm.
like, I mean, I love Cyrus, but Victor's such an interesting and compelling um, villain that to like see people love Cyrus that much is like so interesting. It just speaks to like Jeff Kober's performance of Cyrus.
Yeah, he's just so much fun to watch. Um, it's fun to watch his like amusement. He plays that kind of like infuriating amusement so well, and every time he does it, I'm like,
Every time he drops a Bible verse, it just really it gets me.
Yes. When he said, the difference is I am a sinner seeking redemption, and your uncle wouldn't know the meaning of the word. I was like, oof, like that is his like compelling in with Spencer. And I love him using that to like just sow the seeds of doubt, and like his ways of trying to get to Spencer are so much more subtle than Victor. Which makes me wonder like what even more insidious thing is he up to? Like why he's obviously it's to get to Laura in some way, but what else does he have in store for Spencer? And so like that's the other thing that's interesting is that what is this fixation from his uncles? Like what do they want from my child? Why did Cyrus give him the doves? I mean, obviously he sees Trina as an in for Spencer, and then Victor starts to see Trina that way too. Because before he was kind of discouraging of Sprina. You know, like he was just kind of like, don't worry about her. That's a distraction. And now he's like, well, what, get in there. And then he
Yeah,
took the doves, and I was like, what are you gonna do with those doves? Are you gonna bug those doves? Now, Victor, that's messy. I
I
kind of love
mean,
because
Victor's hella messy.
I'm this kind of is I'll talk more about this later, but I'm just really also wanting Sprina in the Ice Princess storyline. So that is part of also why I liked Victor grabbing the doves, because it's like drawing them into that story, and that's what I think they also really need as a couple.
Mm. I wonder if we have the same not working. That's really interesting that you said that. Um, ooh, look at that alignment. I also I thought that the Cyrus Trina thing was really interesting. Because we always talk about like Trina as one of Cyrus's nemesis. Um, and like even when Spencer said something to Trina about Cyrus, I felt like Rory had like a reaction, but Trina didn't really have one. And I
Mm-hmm.
was confused by that. But did you get like a vibe between Rory and Victor? I was like, is Rory working for Victor?
I
That was
didn't
just the most
pick up
interesting
on
thing he ever
that,
did.
and I didn't notice that. I could see that now that you say it, but I don't know. I am always just so hesitant to read into like,
Rory,
yeah, because I'm just like, I don't know what this guy is doing. There's not, I don't know. Maybe I'll get into talking trash on him later.
now I just want it. Okay. Wait, am I echoing for you?
No.
Okay, good. All right. Well, hopefully that this isn't an echo episode. We'll see. I would say what is working for me, if so little is working for me. Um, Niz 2.0, just like Elizabeth, having something to do that's interesting. This is the most interesting that they've allowed Liz to be in a long time, and I really think that when Becky is given something to do, she really can deliver on it. When she is given something interesting, something complex, something complicated, I think that she draws me in because I'm always like, Liz, girl, what are you doing? In a way that's really like, no, girl, like I want to watch to see what you're doing. And so while she's traditionally not been like one of my favorite characters, it's not that she's a character that I don't enjoy watching. Um, I am interested. I'm interested in her kids. I'm interested in her family. I'm interested in like what she's doing and how she moves. And so her being like in this super messy story, I mean, we get the vibe obviously that she's about to tell Finn she's pregnant by Nicholas. I can't wait.
100%. That was my other thing. But my other thing that was working for me is my note is wacky ass Liz storyline. Because for me, it's not really like the Niz part of it that's working. It's just the Liz part.
Well, yes,
Like,
obviously.
and like I love her um her wacky ass holding Esme hostage. I love that this is the direction she's going to cover it up. Like, I'm just gonna make up her pregnancy to cover my ass for kidnapping my like son's abuser.
And I'm into it.
I'm into it. I love it. Like, I've been saying all week, like, I really want, like, I've been begging for Finn to make the connection with the prenatal vitamins all week. I'm like, talk the vitamins, Finn. And then the pregnancy storyline can happen. Like, I've just been rooting for it all week. So when it finally got to the end of the week, and like Soap Opera Digest like heavily hinted towards the pregnancy piece, I'm just like, let's do this.
Let's go. I mean, I also like hate that they didn't let Becky speak because like a lot of times they will like ask actors to speak for their part in the soap opera digest. They didn't have Becky do it. I thought that was weird. Um, I'll also say that I just want her away from Finn. If however we can do it, let's do it. I'm enough with him. I don't find him compelling. You know, I've never liked Markleus as Nicholas. I find her more compelling in scenes with him, specifically more compelling in scenes with Esme. And I am a person who does not believe Esme can be redeemed. I don't care how much she talks to her stomach or whatever it is she's doing. Like, because I've seen, I mean, I see very little, but I saw like some conversation about like, I can't believe they're holding this pregnant woman hostage. It's not like they just like plucked a random pregnant person off the street and was like, let me put you in a tower. This is someone who has been extremely dangerous, who they think might be the hook. Lock her up. Abolitionist me. Lock her up.
Well, I mean, that's, to be fair, that's not the real reason Nicholas has her locked up. It's so
That's
that he
Liz's
doesn't go to
reason.
prison. But Liz's reasons are great. I love them. Like 100%. I support her. Affirm her.
Absolutely. I
Get
was
her
definitely
ass.
not talking about I was definitely not talking about Nicholas. I was talking about Liz.
Yes. Um, yes, I love this wacky ass storyline. I love that you said that Esme was talking to her stomach. Like, whatever is going on in that stomach, I don't know. She bloated. Like,
Whatever.
it also feels like such a weird, like, thing that she would like OD on her pregnancy vitamins. That just feels made up to me. I don't know. Like,
I also feel like you would just get sick, like you would just throw that up. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you just
I don't feel
whatever.
like that would cause like a life-threatening situation, but I mean, who knows?
I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
Well, and
Call
apparently
Liz.
there is Finn.
Finn was really just McBaining it all week, and it got on my last nerve.
I really loved when people kept on being like, "You're not a you're maybe you should. Why are you doing this? Nobody asked you to do this." Like,
No
literally
one asked you.
anyone he talked to about it was just like, maybe you should just like not.
I also just like appreciated when not appreciated. I laughed when he was talking to Alexis like she didn't know Nicholas. She was like she was on her way to see Nicholas Cassidy. I don't trust that guy. I was like, that's his aunt.
I think it's also really weird that he keeps calling him Nick. Like, that's something that people call him. People don't call him Nick,
I think he's like kind of trying to sun him, like
but it
Nick.
doesn't work. And that's bad when, because he's such an easy person to do that to. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like so many other actors like embarrass Markleus without trying to. They just like do it by being really good. And I know that actually Michael Easton's a better actor than Marcellus.
Obviously.
So this just also felt weird. Like I was just like, I am definitely team. I hope both teams lose between Finn and Nicholas. But I'm just like, wow, Finn is actually the more annoying character to me out of this duo, and that's really bad. You have really lost me if I'm like, well, maybe you should just leave Nicholas alone.
Oof.
You've made too many wrong turns, sir.
I felt that in my body. I was like, oof, you
Mm-hmm.
say leave Nicholas alone. Um, oof, what's not working for you?
Well, obviously that
No surprise.
um I would say that, but the thing that bothered me the most this week, and has been bothering me for a while, is like no one being helpful to Anna but Valentine. But this week was like especially infuriating. I was like, Holly's not even here anymore. Why are we still talking about her unless we are saying she's the one that shot Lucy? She didn't really shoot her. This is where, like folks actually moving the plot along in service of Anna and Lucy. And instead we had all this debriefing about Holly and like, oh, poor Holly. Oh, and Robert having his feelings instead of like, okay, so why did you help the one person that could have helped lead you to Lucy as well as exonerate Anna? Why are you doing this? Why would Felicia do that? Why would Robert do that? It felt nonsensical. Like Mac threatening Valentine was so weird. Like obviously
So
Mac's
weird.
totally in on like on what's going on, right? He's like purposely being excluded because he's a cop. But I'm just like, you gotta like, you know, that like he would know that Valentine and Anna are together. So it just felt strange, and it just made me like dislike Mac even more in this context of like he's also around like kissing Cody's ass. I'm just like, why are we? This is You're becoming a very irritating character to me. Um, and it was also just like a lot. We've been getting a lot of Robert, and it's not been good. Like it's not been good writing, and it's a lot. It's a lot of Tristan. It's a lot.
It's like, well, no, I'm kidding.
Here's what I'll say. You know how I feel about men.
I do. That I
I think
do.
they require a lot of help. They
Yes.
require a lot of help in their scenes, the GH men in particular.
Hmm. Hmm.
And without Finola around, who is very much an expert at supporting Tristan along, it's like, oh, I'm like, okay, so we got Laura propping you up. We got Felicia. We got all these other characters who should be helping Anna, but instead are like helping Robert process his feelings about Holly. And I'm like, Robert, you've been pretty useless to me, so I don't understand why I should care. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, it was really weird because they were like, okay, Valentine went to go help Anna. And they're like, okay, great. So now we can look at these diamonds some more. No, no, that's not what that means. That means that Valentine is in Europe helping Anna, and you should be here helping Anna.
And why are Valentine and Anna the only people looking for Lucy?
I'm like, what's going on, y'all?
Why wouldn't Felicia tell Valentine where Anna was when he was the one that got Anna out of town? I'm like, I would wait. Like, Felicia, who are you? You're sitting on all this information and you won't tell Valentine. It's been it's not been a cute look. And so like I also feel like, yes, I love the vets, like being so present in the storyline and driving it, but it also kind of makes me wonder about like we need some like fresh blood in the storyline too, and we need like it, and like Sprina would be a great addition to kind of shake things up, because right now it's feeling a little stale with the direction that they're taking it in.
Mhm.
And so it's like, it feels like they must be built like that. We're getting closer to a build because of this like more intense focus on Victor, and he's actually getting a little desperate in his actions. And it feels like Sprina's about to be drawn in, and I just want to affirm go in that direction, because like right now what's going on is not quite working.
And that's the interesting thing. So for me, what I was gonna say is what's not working is the writing for Sprina. Not
Mm.
Sprina. Sprina's always working. Like they are great characters. Like both Spencer and Trina are dynamic characters that drive story.
Mhm.
That is what makes them like uniquely good. That like these are two characters that we care about. So it's not like, oh, they brought on a new character for a character we care about. Like we saw Spencer grow up, he left, he came back as a recast, and we had already loved Trina. And for us, I mean, I know you remember us talking about it when we heard before we even saw Nicholas Chavez, and we heard they were going to age of Spencer and bring him back. We were like, oh, no, that's for Trina, because those characters are so interesting. And so match that with the fact that these actors are so dynamic as well. I mean, so funny, both of them. Like Tabiana, and he was like, I love you. And she was like, pardon? Like she didn't, it was just like, we can't hold hands trying to eat this brownie. Like it was just like, could you please
Now, it wasn't
understand?
a brownie, it was a lava cake from Domino's.
Sorry. The brownie is what he keeps in his Ziploc bags for.
Right. This is this is the 3-month anniversary lava cake.
When he was like, it's our anniversary, she was like, our what? Do I know you? Like it was just like the level of she don't like this man through the roof. But like Spencer is so funny. Like these are two really great actors who deserve to be driving story, and they just are not. Even the sequencing of their scenes have not made sense to me because they don't move forward in their scenes. It's like back and forth, back and forth. It's not like we have the scene, we establish something, okay, we're building on it to the next scene. It's like you could have this new scene and not add a last scene before it. And it's just not good writing for two both characters and actors who deserve better. And the audience deserves better. We've been rooting for them since the beginning. We've been rooting for Sprina since he was in a mask and she pepper sprayed him. The good times.
Moment.
It is time to move them forward. And I think to your point, the ice, like inserting them into the Ice Princess storyline and like having that somehow overlap with the Hooker storyline is exactly what it needs, because these are two dynamic characters that can help drive things forward. And then when they do exhibition, it makes sense because there's two young people who don't know the history. These are two people who um, I like even when I think about like the devil storyline that they did on Days, what I appreciated was this like revisiting of history. Like, did you know that grandma did this? Did you know like so it's not just having the vets, but it's like reminding newer characters who the vets are and like what their stories were back in the day. So I'm not saying Sprina's not working. I would never say that. They're always working, but the writing for Sprina is not working because it deserves better.
I
And
think
I
that's
deserve better.
absolutely, we all do. Um, yeah, I really think that's such a great point about how dynamic they are, and then they're like purposely like keeping them stuck when it's like actually not working with the energy of the actors, which is to push things forward. And also it's because the tension's been building for so long that it's like, let them push forward and it will take off. But maybe they're just not ready for that. I don't know. I mean, obviously the actors are beyond ready for it. Is the show. You know, can the show offer them what they actually need to drive the story? But I did really love that moment when Spencer's like, can I sit down? But he's already sitting. Just straight up takes Rory's chair. And there's that shot of like Rory like in the background on his phone. And Spencer just chilling in his chair. And they look so good together. Ugh.
They look so good. And but like this is also what I wanted for the Rowena relationship. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to see Spencer in jail, obviously. Like, I wanted to see him jealous. I wanted to see him petulant and like competing for her attention because that's what Trina deserves after all she's been put through. Not like, I don't know. There just also needs to be like some softness with them.
Yeah.
There needs to be I you know, like I also like she keeps going to people for advice about him. And all I can think is, ugh, look at me when I was 19, going to every single person I know to ask them what I already know, which is that I love this boy. You know what I mean? Like, Trina, niece, it doesn't matter how many conversations that you have about this man, you love him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'm
Sorry.
also not sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. He's kind of, awful. And also, not sorry. That's my child. You should be together.
And y'all should be together. You're totally the parent who, when Spencer brings Trina home, like, you're too good for my son, but I'm very happy that you're here.
What can I do to keep you? Like during the multiple Sprina breakups, being like, just know I'll always be there for you. And if you ever need anything at all, you could call me.
You're always family here.
You're always family. Yes. I agree about the softness too, and like the nonsensical way that they keep on going back and forth with each other of like, I want another chance. No, but can I have another chance? Like, just if even if you're not getting together, can y'all have some kind of like consistent through line, or like can we I'm just not understanding what's driving the back and forth. And I feel like the actors are doing a good job of creating some kind of like conflict, tension in their bodies, all of those things. But there's only so much you can do with this writing. They still have to say the lines.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, because they're not the old men on the show, so they have to say their actual lines.
Nicholas would just be like, I forgot the line. I dropped
I
it.
forgot. I dropped it, so I improv'd. Trina, I love you. Let's be together.
That's really just like, I would slide Nicholas $20 to do that. Here, do that for me, please.
Don't spend it all in one place.
Don't put it all in one place. Oh, please. It's just, I've had enough. I think that we've all, like, to your point, we have been building. We've
It's
been
been
here.
it's been built.
It's built.
Open it to the public. Opening day is tomorrow. I'm calling it. It's been built. It's been furnished. Let's do this. The
It's like
house of
that.
Sprina is ready to open.
It's like that one person who just like keeps moving around chairs that don't matter. It's like, open the door.
Open the door. Let's do this.
We ready. So I do agree. I do hope that they get integrated into the Ice Princess storyline, and then I think I hope that then means that storyline somehow overlaps with the hooker, because I'm also like, why is Curtis? And now I'm getting ahead of myself. Why is Curtis acting like Jordan should tell him about the hook? What Curtis didn't work for me this week. Sorry. I'm gonna go back. You tell me what you talk about, but I just had to say, Curtis,
Well, one of my notes was Curtis needs to leave Jordan the fuck alone. Just leave this woman alone. Just leave this beautiful woman to live her fucking life and move
You
on.
leave beautiful Jordan alone. Leave her alone.
Like, why would you invite her to your wedding? Y'all literally just got divorced last week.
But like, you go to her job, you invite her to your wedding, you harass her about coming to your wedding, and then you tell her that the reason that y'all didn't make it is because she didn't break confidentiality to tell you about police investigations. Curtis,
And
get out
then
of
as
here.
you're leaving, you still are bothering her to RSVP. What's wrong with you? And then you go to Alexis to undermine her. It does make me wish that Tanya was here.
Yes.
We'll have to ask her a follow-up next week.
And a Karen off. Who is more Karen? Alexis or Nina? Ooh, stumped you.
I think Nina.
Mm, okay.
Because I think Alexis is more likely to go off and do something like ridiculous, but like Nina's gonna like tell on you. Like,
Nina got the barbecue Becky energy.
yes. Whereas Alexis will go and like show Alexis is more of like a white savior, like white feminist situation
Yeah.
versus like Nina is just like there's a special place in hell for anyone who hates me. And I'm telling, and I like I am really I'm waiting for Nina to be the one to blow up chaos.
That
I'm ready for it. It feels totally in line with the direction of the storyline. She just tried to break up Milla, which, you know, whatever.
sure.
Milla's awful, but also like, girl, why are you so obsessed with me? To quote Mariah. But then like Joss, these are kids. And I could see her being like, Cameron. I saw some vibes between Joss and Dex.
When it was like it was so embarrassing. I was like, why are y'all embarrassing this woman? Joss embarrassed this woman. And I was like trying to take myself out of it because like I like Joss as a character. I don't like Nina as a character. So I was like, maybe I'm like biased in the way that I'm seeing this. No, I don't think I am. I think that Joss read the hell out of her. She was like, thank you for taking this man off my mom's hands.
I love that.
Just
That's the
like
correct energy.
it was like she was just like at least my sister won't have to grow up with my mom defend our mom defending this man. And I think I've seen a little bit of some conversation about this. Like I said, I see very little. Um, so GH had posted this like picture of like the official account had posted this picture of Sunny and Nina. And it was like Nina just like with her face like on Sunny, like did you see this picture that they posted? It was like her turned away from the camera and then Sunny like turned towards the camera, like looking at it while she's like looking at him with her face on his face. And I was like, what are y'all doing to this woman? Like, I don't like Nina. I like we will never like Nina. But this woman has two businesses that she's running. And what you reduced her to is arguing with a 19-year-old and chasing around Sunny's kid and waiting for him to get home so she can give him dinner. What? It was like that matched with the picture. I'm like, why? We used to see Nina at work. We used to see her like running meetings, like clearly like sending crimson into the world. And now we see her being like stupid mob wife. That's not even a wife. Mob girlfriend. Never heard of that. Like it's just so it's like, yeah, that's the problem with Nina, but the way that they're writing this, like, is beyond me. I just can't understand why they would write it this way.
I have no insight. I have good taste.
Just,
I would never write anything like this. I have no insight.
and I would never like it. Like I saw people being like, I saw somebody in the comments like, oh, so the picture of Sunny and Nina was up, and it was like, um, Sunny and Nina are surprised, constantly surprising each other. His family, something, something, something. And I'm like, well, is a surprise his identity? Because that's the only surprise between them. And then I saw like in the comments, because I commented, was a surprise his identity. Obviously, I commented that. But then um, people were like, well, his real kids like care about him. His real kids, whatever, like Christina and Dante feel whatever. And I'm like, I actually think this is also like a GH writing problem because I spent too many years watching them chase around that redhead Michael for you to tell me that Michael's not Sonny's kid.
Mm-hmm.
We've had years of storyline based on what it means that Michael is Sonny's kid. So I don't care about nothing else. Michael's Sonny's kid. Like I don't care. Like whatever Joss is his ex stepdaughter. If she doesn't want to call whatever, I don't care about that. Michael is his kid.
Yeah. His annoying ass kid, because he's also annoying and he gets it from his dad. He's clearly Sunny's son.
I mean, it's obvious. So like I just I it, and then I saw somebody that was like, Nina should slap Joss. Well, I don't agree with you, but you should stay in a different character if you want somebody who won't slap somebody because Nina's weak. Nina's a weak ass bitch. All she do is complain and cry and run up on teenagers and pregnant women. But when grown women come for her, she ain't got nothing to say. So if you wanted a character who was gonna slap somebody, you gotta stand somebody different. Maybe you should stand Carly. And I will that's all I have to say on that. What about you? Anything else you have to say on any other subject?
Um all I had was just like beyond for the what's not working. It was just like please no, please, like I don't know how much I like obviously Elizabeth lying to Finn and pretending to be pregnant and stealing the, raising the ick baby, like obviously I like that. But what I'm not looking forward to is like the Finn and Nicholas rivalry that they're trying to make a thing. And so I just know that there's going to be more Finn and Nicholas scenes, and that's really not going to work for me because I don't like feeling like I'm not I could never root for this fake Nicholas situation like ever. But like please just don't put me in the position of being like, well, like, he has a point. Don't make me say
Ooh,
that.
can I interject with some BTS info?
No, yes, please.
Marketless has unfollowed GH and Mora on Instagram. So I don't know if you haven't told us that the role of Nicholas Cassidy will be played by Sandra.
Well,
I don't know if that's under embargo, but
if
it's fine.
if that were true, I would have signed a confidentiality agreement. So we'll
Neither
see.
can't confirm or deny. You heard it here first. Breaking news. can either confirm or deny whether Sandra will be taking over the role of Nicholas Cassadine. Thank you.
Yeah, I heard that and I am so excited. I just believe
You
he
just
will be
can't hide it.
I refuse to hide it. It's just who I am.
You've been manifesting this for quite some time.
I have. And I get what I want. I get what I want.
Damn. Do you think they're gonna kill off Nicholas? Will they hook him? Or is it just going they're going
Uh I have a hard time believing that they would kill off Nicholas permanently.
sure.
But I could see him being like assumed dead or off screen for a while, and I would assume that they would recast him at some point. You know who is available? Tyler Christopher and me. I'm willing to share the
I could do that. Like a bridge.
part. Mm-hmm.
Um Obviously from Tyler to you.
Or it could be like the two Beckys on Roseanne that are played by the two different actresses, and they just switch them out every once in a while.
I would have no way of knowing. I never watched Roseanne.
That's the thing that they did. They had like there was the original actress that played that character, and then she was recast. And when they rebooted it, they would just change them out interchangeably.
Without saying anything?
Yeah, it was like part of the joke. I didn't
Okay.
watch it. I just heard about it. I mean, I watched the original Roseanne anyway. I found that to be very funny because I'm a soap opera viewer, so I just love like I love a recast. I love playing on the fact that they're. I do like that, so I'm willing to do that with Tyler. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would love it. I would 100% love it. Let's do it. Chris and Dan, you heard it here first. Um, Let me pull up this soap opera digest thing. Well, so they did like the best of the year. So across the soaps, and GH came away with quite a few. So I wanted to do a couple notable ones. So one of the notable ones, starting off positive, is the best couple in soaps in 2022. Vanna. And what can you say? I mean, it feels good to win. I don't know what else there is to say about it. I think that with Vanna, what you have is like two actors who know their characters inside and out, who want to tell a good story. I don't know if either JPS or Fanola could phone it in if they tried. Like that's just not in their nature, and it shows. And it's a joy to be a fan and a joy to watch. Um, and so even when their story has like a piece that kind of doesn't make sense or an adage like that Martin thing, they still make the best of it because the chemistry is so good. And then they bring you right back to what makes sense. And so it's so easy to root for them. They are for me what soaps, everybody's not gonna like every couple, but they are for me like a flagship couple. Like they are the GH couple right now because what is there not to like? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't talk to people with bad taste, so I don't talk to anybody who doesn't like them.
Yeah, I mean they have story going for them. They have just pure raw talent. They have the fact that they're both really committed and hardworking and also really committed to their scene partners. And just that also the ability to be really like emergent and like make actually like really intentional complex acting decisions with like really simple work and like do that really quickly. It's just very, I say this all the time when I'm talking to non-soap viewers about soap actors. I'm like, when someone's really good, you actually know that they're like phenomenal because they're doing that in two takes tops, let alone one. So Fanola and JPS are like pinnacle. Love them.
And the thing that we didn't mention, the fire ass chemistry.
Ah!
Like, I mean, it goes without saying, but we have to say it. You know what I mean? Like, they just pop. And I, to your point, what you said earlier, I loved it so much about how Anna was thirsty this time. Because, like, we've always known, you know, Valentine to be thirsty for Anna. Valentine
Forever.
to be married to somebody else and has been married to somebody else and has been thirsty for Anna. So to have her call him, did she call him handsome? To be thirsty for him, like I was like, I love this for Anna. Anna was like, this is my man, okay, and I like it. And I'm about to jump him on this couch, and we're about to get another FCC complaint,
Mm.
and we're gonna and the stills of our love making will be all over the internet. Like,
All over.
because and the fandom will watch these scenes over and over, and I am the fandom and I do watch the scenes over and over, okay, like it is what it is. So I think that, you know, the chemistry is just
Agreed. Obviously.
once in a lifetime kind of couple. With all of that, I'm gonna just go through what they did. So like I said, this is for all soaps. um Worst story, Elizabeth's past.
Yep.
And they called out the things that we've been calling out, which is that they took this story that should have been about Elizabeth, made it about Finn. Her fans have been waiting for this for 25 years. And the other thing that they didn't mention was everything that they said that it could be that was the problem with Elizabeth was, or every red herring they threw out was more interesting than what actually happened with her.
Yep.
I still wanted to be DID. You know what I mean? Like, we're so past that, but I was like, yeah, DID, let's do it. Everybody wanted to see more of her. Everybody wanted to see her like flex for her 25th. And instead, they made her smaller to serve Finn.
Yep.
And that sucked.
Like this ick baby storyline is better than what was supposed to be like her signature storyline for the year.
Right.
Yikes.
And it's just also like at this point, if we're like speaking frank about soaps, we're not really gaining a lot of audience. You know, like it is here because people are committed. And Becky and Liz have had committed fans for years. Like I'm a fan of Becky. I'm not. You know, we've said not been a fan of Liz per se. What is there to do but fan service? What is there to do but to lift up this actress that's been on the show for this long and give her a story that is worthy of her fandom, of of how she would want to play it, that's about her and not about something that we don't care about. So I just feel like they should have done fan service, which they didn't do.
Yeah.
Cool. Worst use of history. Um, Cody.
Yeah. Worst use of anything, honestly.
Yeah. Like, um, it says like GH's over reliance on the surprise offspring trope was in stark relief this year. So Valentine is Victor's, Willow is Nina's, Esme is Ryan's, Trina is most likely Curtis's, but the show did its biggest pretzel twisting in order to justify the introduction of a grown son for Mac in the form of Cody Bell. That's how they started it. And I think that that's, for me, that's right. Like, there are so many people that they could have been writing for that, like, this introduction of Cody, completely unnecessary. This story for um Britt, she was better with Austin. A story for Mac, could have been doing something with Maxie. A story for Dante and Sam have natural, like, opposition that they could be exploring within the Sante relationship with her as a PI and him as a cop. They actually didn't need to bring in Cody for whatever it is. I don't care what happened in Cody and Dante's past. I really don't. They've already actually given Dante like past, like when they brought Brenda back, they already gave him shady past.
Right.
And that was shady past when he was a cop. Why do I care about his shady summer school past?
Salute Your Shorts storyline is not giving. Oh no, Dante gave someone an awful waffle.
Not a fan? Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't know if you were a fan of Stable Baby. Um, Most shocking twist. Felicia kills Peter. Um, I don't know if I think that was like the most shocking twist. I think that everybody had assumed it was going to be Jason, even Fanola said she assumed it was going to be Jason. Who got to kill Peter, but with Peter dead, I think that anybody could have done it, and I wouldn't have called it a twist. I did like it. I did like the way the storyline played out. I liked that it was Felicia who did it, Anna who stayed with him, supporting Maxie. I thought it was very well done. But I don't know if I would call it the biggest twist of the year.
I'm trying to think about like, were there any twists this year that I was like, wow, that was compelling. Like, I guess the Spencer has a plan was a twist. Wasn't a good one. It was like a bad storyline that twisted into another bad storyline. But
I would say because this is about soaps across, like, so they said that Finn being alive on B&B was the best story. Um, I don't watch that show. I don't go there, but I know how excited people were. So I would think Finn being alive would have been the biggest twist.
yeah,
Because
same.
people were freaking out.
Yeah, I don't feel like there's been a twist on GH that was that. There have been compelling moments, but not like anything that was just like,
It's because GH hasn't taken risks. They don't even take risks with characterization. They don't let people be villains or everybody has to be complex or have motives or this. And so I don't know if they're in a position to take a storyline risk that they won't even take character risks.
yeah. And I don't actually anyway, I don't know that what they do with the characters is trying to make them complex. I think they just make them nonsensical. But
Ooh, smart. Well, um, who shot or best mystery? Who shot Lucy?
no,
I don't agree.
no.
And it's
Because I feel
interesting.
like it was like as soon as oh god, I already forgot her name. Holly showed up when Lucy got shot. It was like, so Holly shot her. Like
Right. Yeah.
that was not a mystery. That felt very clear.
I was never surprised.
And also like they revealed it like a week later. That's not a mystery. Yeah.
And it's not a mystery. I think it also is that nobody thought it was Anna except for Martin. Um,
Not even
there
the
were
cops.
like it just nobody thought that. It's interesting because I know that you don't watch Days anymore, but the one they said that was the worst mystery was Abby's death.
Hmm.
I think they said it. I don't even know if you even watched to the conclusion of that, but it was Clyde.
Right. I did. I
Um,
did.
and he was like trying to kill Belle. So I think their point was like, so it was like this character who y'all had been trying to redeem and everybody thought was redeemed ish. And you have him kill like a legacy character when he meant to kill another legacy character. Okay. Not good. Um Best non-couple, Spencer and Trina. I don't know if they've had non-couple um, categories before, but I think that makes sense. I appreciated um, what they wrote. It says, with every stolen glance, lingering touch, and near mention of love, GH stayed true to the core dynamic that first sold fans on this love story, that Spencer not only sees Trina as the diamond she is, but recognizes that for all his polish, he has to do the inner work to be truly worthy of her. I agree with about 50% of that. I don't think it's a good story, but I do think what has like struck me about Sprina, I think, is and it frustrates me with every scene, is every time Spencer does something. So these are characters I've wanted together since before Spencer hopped on screen. Like, period. And then we saw Nicholas Chavez, and I was like, yes, this is it. Let's do it. Then we saw his chemistry with Sydney, and I was like, I'm bought in. I'm here. Let's do it. And then we had the Windermere party, and I was like, Spencer, what the hell are you doing? You got a girlfriend. And so it's like Spencer kept doing stuff that made me say, I want him with Trina, but in order for him to be worthy of Trina, he has to do more things. And so I think that that part of it is right. But it's also frustrating because now we've already done that. Now I feel like he's done a lot of that penance. He still needs to be earning her, but we need to be like moving towards them being together. We need to be seeing them in scenes together and seeing with Sans Rory, it because whatever, but like we need to be seeing that forward movement and not like to your point, this like snip, snap, snip, snap of I'm mad at you. Okay, let's be together or let's be friends. Okay, start over. Like it's too much. We've already started over. Let's move forward. And, let's kiss while we move forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that Sprina has a great premise, and a premise is not a story. A premise is
Exactly.
not storytelling. It's literally just the foundation. And they haven't even like actualized that initial like premise. And, and yet then they get kind of like shifted. It's just really not, yeah.
Mhm.
It's like vibes only. It's the vibes only.
Vibes and Kim and talent.
Yeah. And that's not fair to them.
It's
It's not
not
fair to
because if either one of the two or the three actors really who have been involved in the story were not as talented as they are, it would fall flat.
them.
And that to me is the test. Um, and I mean, and I'm glad and I'm a fan of how talented they are, and they're talented. They can do the work. Let's give it to them.
Yep.
Worst couple, Austin and Maxie. I don't know if I think Austin and Maxie are worse than Liz and Finn.
I think they're less offensive. Um, their story doesn't make any sense. I mean, neither does Finn and Liz's, but I can't tell if like Finn and Liz are worse because we see them more in their stories. So I don't know. But Austin and Maxie are like exceptionally like, why is this happening? Because like at least with Finn and Liz, like they were friends, before they got together. They both work at the hospital. Like if the chemistry wasn't so awful between them and the story wasn't so awful between them, like there's at least something about it that makes sense. But like Austin and Maxie, it's just like, why? Who thought to put these two characters together? They're it doesn't make sense story wise. It doesn't make sense for their characters and the actors. I do not have that spark. They
No.
have the opposite of spark.
Um, I don't know what the scientific term is for opposite spark, but I do think that like I don't. I mean, they're in Maxie and Austin actually are offensive to me, but they're not as offensive to me as Liz and Finn. I think it's because Finn is such a boundary pusher.
Yeah.
Like even when he found the pills, he's like, okay, well if you don't tell me, I'm gonna go to Windermere and do what? This is between us. Why would you go to Windermere? Like he's just like such a gaslighter, such a boundary pusher. I don't know. I can't find the line between how much I'm offended with them actually making this Becky's 25th anniversary story versus how offended I am as with them as a couple. Like I think about the fact that the last time we saw all of Liz's boys together, it was like for some bullshit for fun.
That was awful. I also wonder if they were just like, well, we can't give them worst storyline and worst couple. They're like, let's spread it around a little bit, trying to be diplomatic and trying to name as many terrible things as possible, which I do appreciate them acknowledging the different bad things. But was it entirely accurate? Maybe not.
Yeah, honorable mention for most tortured character, they gave it to Sophia Maxson. Best casting, they gave it to the recast of Trina. And then words we never want to hear again, GH edition, activate, black market phone, Jacksonville, link, revenge porn, and society setups. The Carly fan of me was like, calm down with Jacksonville. We didn't say that much, but you know, I'm
Oh,
fine with that list.
I agree with Jacksonville.
I see. Carly fan of me is like, I feel like people did too much with Jacksonville. I actually understood. I didn't like the story particularly, but I understood the story. I actually wish that they would have done it with Bobby instead of Drew. I wish it was not like the beginning of the crew love story. Like that was unnecessary for me. But I understood it, and it didn't. People were acting like it happened for as long as Nixon Falls. It was not as bad as Nixon Falls, and it did not happen as long as Nixon Falls. So that's my Jacksonville 2 cents.
Yeah, I was not that level of offended by it, but it was very not well done.
I
It
can agree
was,
with that.
and Laura Wright acting was not, Laura's Wright's portrayal of Carly, great story. And then it got even worse with the addition of Drew.
I know how you feel.
Yeah. Plus, already I know Jacksonville. My God, no, thank you.
Jason Mendoza.
That's the only context I want to talk about Jacksonville in.
Um, cool. Do you have any hot takes? I have a few.
I have a few.
Why don't you start us off?
I really loved Ava telling Trina about her packing heat in her purse.
Trina was like, Ava.
And it was like, I have a permit, I know how to use it. And I was like, I love it. Obviously, I'm a big support of gun control. But if everyone's gonna be having guns, I really like the Ava. And a little gun in her fashionable little purse. She's just giving like um old Hollywood anti-heroine like sexy chic vibes always, and I love that for her, and I love Trina witnessing that in her.
I feel
I love
like
Treva. I love Treva.
so
No.
good. So good. I feel like if this was like the 80s, Ava would have like a cigarette on one of like the long sticks.
Yeah, if they wouldn't get fined every time someone smoked a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wrote Milo, who cares? But that Mex chemistry won't let up. I
Keep
stand
them
by that.
apart. It's too distracting. You're not gonna stop queer baiting us. I remain intrigued by the Victor and Ava build. I really love the energy between the two of them, like the exchange between equals, but it just feels more and more explicit that like Victor is trying to make a move And it seems like more genuine than like his like pursuit of Lucy in a way. Because
Mm-hmm.
like there was like something that was just like so dogged about his pursuit of Lucy, but with like Ava, it's like he's like, you're gonna meet mine. Like, oh, don't worry about my little nephew.
That idiot.
We're gonna be doing great things together. It's gonna be a mess, and it's gonna be such a fun mess. And I also was just thinking about how much I would love to see Spencer's reaction to Victor stealing Ava from Nicholas. I would love it. I really need
I
it.
need it.
Now that I've thought about it, I'm like, it has another check in the Viva column. My child would hate it, but also love it. Like, I don't know if he would know how to react. But I also just love this idea of him thinking finally he's rid of Ava in his orbit. And it's like, surprise, she's your great aunt now.
Surprise, surprise. Victor's like, you're going to be a cast iron one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this way is the other. I appreciated Britt shutting Cody down. And he was like, you're angry. And she said, anger implies investment. And I said, you better tell that stable baby. I loved it.
I did. I loved it. I did not love that later on she talked about it being about, I need to like let him be free. Why
No,
should
hated it.
I burden him? I was like, oh no, we didn't need this part of the scene. And why are you ruining a Brit and Austin scene with this? Because this shit actually works. Even if like they weren't gonna put them together for like her end arc, I wish they would invest more in her friendships and show us that. Like show us her friendships with Austin, with Maxie. We've barely seen her with Maxie, with Brad. And so that's another reason why I'm just like, get Cody the fuck away, because there are actually Brit relationships that I do care about that are being put on the back burner for this storyline when she's about to leave. It just doesn't also feel like it's not honoring the character either. I know that a lot of people have mixed feelings about Brit, but she does have relationships on the canvas that are compelling and are also part of the reason why she was able to like make the character work. So
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, for me, all the Westbourne women can take a long walk off of a short pier, but I get you. And I'd be fine with it. But I don't hate Liesel when I see her, but then when I think about Liesel have been some bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things with them where I think that Britt and Liesel have had so much distance between some of the worst things that they've done that they don't like outright offend me when I see them. But then when I think about their relationships, I'm like, huh. Um,
that it doesn't bother me as much because I think I just there's like a certain level with a soap where I'm just like, yeah, people are gonna be doing that, and it's like, can the actors make it work?
and I think that both of them have.
Yeah, and I think for me with Brit, I think Olbrecht is more offensive. The stuff that Brit's done, I'm just like, I'm way over that. I'm way over. Who cares that she took Lulu's baby?
I
She
don't
gave
even
him
know what a
back.
Lulu is. I don't even know what a Lulu is.
And she paid for it. Like I also feel like Brit's paid for a lot of the things that she's done. And also, I'm not a Robin fan, so her stealing like Robin or like messing with Robin and whatever, like a now Olbrecht kidnapping Robin. Now that's like more offensive to me.
That's offensive to me. That's offensive to me.
Yeah.
Um, I loved so much of the Cyrus Victor stuff. Um, when uh Victor told Cyrus to call him the Rainmaker. Um, I just, it was all of it was so good. Everything about their interactions was good, was really good. But just like the kind of like veiled threats they were doing with each other, um, I just I hope that this is not the end of Cyrus's arc, because I need more showdowns with him and Victor.
Yes. This is the grumpy old men that we actually deserve.
Yes.
Because it also shows you can be a grumpy old man and still be sharp.
I also loved when Cyrus was talking to Spencer right before Victor showed up, and then he like gave him the turtle doves for Trina, and like as soon as he said Trina, Spencer's whole demeanor changed and his face softened, and I was like, this is the kind of stuff that these like young actors are so good at, that like I think they make it look easy when it's not easy, and so when other people aren't as talented, we're like, why isn't this person more talented? Or why doesn't this person, act to the level of whoever? But it's just the instincts to know to do these things. So good.
The instincts and also the work, actually. Like, that's the other thing about Nicholas is that you know that he is doing the work so that his instincts will be able to shine through when it's actually time to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, speaking of, whoo, those Nicholas and Spencer scenes were embarrassing.
Ooh,
I well, and then throw there's the victor of it all too. Just like
yeah.
the way that both Spencer and Victor were looking at Margulis. Like, is
They
this man serious? Like, my poor child was just like, just when I thought my father couldn't be a bigger piece of shit than he is. And the thing is that it's not one of those situations where, like, oh, if he only knew the truth, then he would understand that why Nicholas did what he did. But the truth is that when Spencer finds out the truth of why, he's gonna be even angrier. So you turned me away so you could keep my ex-girlfriend who you got pregnant hostage in a tower, and you have implicated my cousin's mom in it, and now you are gonna have her pretending to carry my sibling slash my ex-girlfriend's child and raise them as the ick baby 2.0, which by the way, or the not the ick baby, this
Liz.
baby 2.0, this would be the second time that Spencer's gonna think that he has a Niz sibling. Because Spencer thought Aiden was his brother for like a whole last year.
Yeah, sure did.
But sure, okay. Let's just say, I mean, I love the embarrassment for this version of Nicholas. But also I'm like, yikes. Those writers really don't fuck with you.
They're piling
As
it on.
wild as wild as some of the stuff they had Tyler do over the years, like this is some next level foolishness. Not even next level. It's like top level foolishness. But hey,
I think the other thing is that Tyler always had family as an anchor. So, like, no matter how foolish he was, you could always count on a really good Tyler or like a really good Nicholas and Alexis scene. You could always count on a really good Nicholas Spencer scene. So, like, those two characters had always been like the anchor to his foolishness. And it always felt like he had like a little bit of a reason, and it was compelling. Even if you 100% disagreed with what he did, you
yep.
were kind of like, it was compelling. Margulis is not talented enough to pull off compelling for the things that they have him do.
Yep.
Yikes.
All he also knows how to do in scenes with Spencer is yell.
Yeah.
And then it just makes it the whole scene kind of turns into yelling because like how else is Spencer supposed to react to being yelled at by this man but yelling more? Like it's just play some levels so also your scene partner can play some levels. Anyway, I could go on, but I won't.
Um, Sunny put Anna's jailbreak in the hands of one guy who he barely trusts, and now he's doing his own cleanup of the dirty work. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Oof, my God, what a loser.
Agreed. Also, I was just kind of like, it was not really this kid's fault. Like, I don't know what you've been this kid through hell, and you're still like, and you did a bad job on this, and yet I'm still giving you a promotion. Like, this is very erratic behavior, but there you go.
Well, he's not drinking anymore because Nina told him not to, so now he's all better.
I haven't noticed. Um, what's up with this Walgreens perfume that Rory got Trina?
Oh my God. I said,
Lower. I think that buying perfume for someone is a very bold move, especially someone you've only been dating for 3 months. I actually would never want, I don't like it when people buy scent for me because I think it's like a very personal thing. And especially if you're someone who like famously does not have like good taste. Like your idea of like gifts have been like soda pop, dry brownies, lava cakes from Domino's. She doesn't even want to hold your hand because she's like, because I'm like, Trina, you could hold his hand and eat the dessert at the same time. You have two hands. But she's just
Tina
like, I
said no.
no, that's too complicated. Like when like the tension in Taviana's body, like anytime he tries to like be like affectionate or loving towards her, like just cracks me up. She's just like, oh. But when she said, no, it smells good, I was like, you don't smell that perfume.
To the
And
box?
it's through the box because that shit is cheap. It's from Walgreens.
I wrote, yes, Rory, I love this perfume that I didn't smell. What I don't love is you.
You know? Pardon? Cracked me up.
The part really took me out.
Pardon? And the way she's just everything, the delivery, no notes.
Yeah, like I said, there's a scene coming up on Monday. They put it out, so tomorrow, um, of her talking to Ava about him, and I was like, Trina is really me back in the day. Like, really want to talk yourself out of these feelings, and talk to every single person, and still have these feelings. Poor girl. She'll learn. That's what happened when you like 19. When I saw when Ryan was like mad and shook his fist, I was like, is that Arthur Fist hereditary? You remember when when Esme like made her hand bleed?
It is.
Little settle these. Ryan's the daddy.
That's the new paternity test.
It's the new half necklace, half heart necklace.
Or hat.
Yes.
Or bald head.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Oh,
what am I thinking?
um, Something that really worked for me that I forgot to say earlier. Sam's energy for Cody. Oh my God. So good. So
It's the
perfect.
alignment that we have because I said Sam has big Julian level energy for Cody.
Love it.
Yeah, I love it. It was so good. Um, I guess that's all I got really. I had some more Nina reads. Oh, I will say that I did not like this false equivalency of what Nina did with Sonny and his family to like what Jocelyn is doing with Cameron. Now, yes, Jocelyn should talk to Cameron and like all of that. Jocelyn's like 19/20 years old, and it is not comparable to Nina keeping Sonny away from his family.
No.
Stop it.
I'm pretty sure Jocelyn hasn't kidnapped anyone yet. She's threatened to kidnap Esme a couple times, but she hasn't followed through yet. But I will love that energy for her, honestly. But she's not married. Her and Cam don't have kids. Now Cam has his own kids, but that's not
Sure.
Jocelyn's problem.
Sure.
So that I hated that. I hated it.
But I did love when she told her, my mom doesn't mention you.
It was so good.
Can you imagine getting read like that by a sophomore in college?
Listen, if I did, I would be like, I bow out. I've been embarrassed by a 19-year-old and I need to like examine my life priorities. Mm-mm.
Well, that was my last take. Do you have any more?
No. Aligned.
Do you want to tell us what it will be happening next week?
I want to and I will.
And then I will give my hooked Cam conspiracy theory after this.
Okay. Great. On Monday, Heather makes an unholy alliance. Love. Nicholas won't concede to Esme. Ava comforts Trina. Finn is left reeling. And Drew delivers bad news. But you won't be able to tell that it's bad news because he'll seem so happy about it. It'll be an inspirational speech, and I'll be like, wait, where was the bad news? Is it more stuff about how like Ned the pizza man is gonna throw you in jail? On Tuesday, Nina questions her role in Sunny's life. Drew connects with Willow. I'm sure it'll be very motivational. Carly's scheme hits a snag. Carly, this is a mess. And not like, whatever, it's fine.
Not a mess that anybody wants to see, just a mess.
No, like I wanted to see her dump soup on Nina. I don't want to see this. Austin's actions upset Maxie. I hope upsets them right into the end of their relationship. Alexis and Gregory strategize.
Boo.
Wednesday, Sunny offers support to Ulbrecht. Brad is touched by Britt's gesture. Cody tries to be a friend to Maxie. Yikes. Jordan commends Rory. Spencer loses his temper. Thursday, Curtis and Alexis talk shop. Dante pursues a lead. I'm assuming it's not to find Anna. Because we know Dante's not interested in doing that.
Right.
For the right reasons, for like, unlike the other people who are not interested in finding Anna. Nicholas is put on the spot. Ava is flabbergasted.
Ooh.
News of a tragedy spreads. On Friday, Ava declares war. Elizabeth fears the worst. Laura voices her faith in Spencer. Trina is devastated. And Valentine reassures Anna.
It's in a bed. Um, so tragedy. Obviously, the hook is going to strike again. Um, Common theories um, are it's either Rory. Well, most people think it's Rory. I think it's Cam. Rory, because like it is very GH. What they love to do is bring somebody back who we haven't seen in a long time. And then there's like the spoiler that Jordan commends him or something. So it's like imagine Jordan being like, "Great job, Rory. You're going places," and him like, "Thanks, Commish," and then like walking out to like go give Trina some dry dessert again, and then all of a sudden walks into a hook and has a boring death probably.
Like he slips onto a banana peel onto a hook.
And the hook is just like, "What?
What? Who are you?"
So
Waste of a hook on such a boring character.
that's one. And you know, Trina will be devastated, whatever. But I do think that because the hook has been so unsuccessful before, they want to do something Georgie level, like what they did with the text message killer. I know we usually only go the 1 week advance for spoilers, but the next week it's like a Monday or something. It's that Carly comforts Jocelyn.
Mm-hmm.
Jocelyn don't care about Rory. Even with the idea of Trina being devastated, I'm like, would Trina really be devastated for Rory? It's gonna be sad. Devastated is a stretch. Um, and there's no Cam spoilers, so I think they're gonna hook Cam.
Hmm.
That's my theory.
I could see it. I mean, it would make sense with William not having like a ton of availability. And like there's a way in which his character being killed would be a bigger impact on the canvas than him continuing to be on. Because it's not like he's gonna become more available over time. Unless, he decides to like really, really come back on full time after graduation. That's still a while ahead. The spoilers for the week after actually kind of changed my mind about Cameron. But the spoilers can be intentionally misleading, like the preview spoilers. There are all these like Elizabeth spoilers that don't really that are all about her and like Nicholas, that make me feel like, why would she be going in deep on this with this Nicholas, like continuing down this road with him while her like grieving her son. I mean, I guess it could be part of like what keeps her going through it, but that's kind of what makes me question, like, would they kill Cam and do this whole thing with Liz at the same time? Unless it
So,
unless she decides like, no, I'm not gonna do it, and then Cam dying like throws her in such a spiral that she just goes further down, the path to self-destruction.
so one of the spoilers for that following week, not next week, but following week, is about her like kind of being mad or something. I don't remember what it was exactly, but what caught me was that in the article from Soap Opera Digest, they made sure to say that Liz believes that Esme is the hooker, and so I think she's like upset with Nicholas or something. So she believes Esme is the hooker and is helping Esme. I mean, this could be for anybody if anybody dies, but if she believes Esme is the hooker and she's been keeping her in this castle, um, and then Cam is hooked, she'll be like, "What the fuck? I thought this was the hooker." And so that's how I read some of those spoilers. Either way, you know, I kind of just wanted to be Cam, not because I don't like William. I actually really like William, but I think to your point, I think it just like has a bigger like impact on the story. And to be quite honest, I don't want to see Trina have to grieve Rory. Who cares?
Oh my god, so you're gonna sacrifice Cam just because you don't want to see Trina grieve Rory? Damn.
It's not a sacrifice. I just think that like when you think well, I think Cam would have a bigger legacy if he was killed
Yeah.
by a serial killer than he would if he was like a sporadic character that pops up every
Yeah.
once in a while.
Yeah, but also he could be recast in the future, and he's like such an like he is like an important legacy character, and they've been so careless about killing legacy characters and then bringing them back or then not bringing them back. I don't know. I'm not sold on the Cam piece. I think it could be interesting if they do it, and I will obviously cry a lot, but he's also not
Oh,
in the spoilers for next week either. So it'd be weird for them to kill him without giving him also like some kind of lead up.
true. Where Rory is getting that lead up.
Yeah. But maybe I could see Cam getting hooked later on in the story, but just the timing feels a little rushed for that right now. But
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe
they don't always care about pacing though, so who knows?
we don't really want dead Cam Christmas. That does feel oof.
Yeah, and there's like spoilers about Scotty and Liz during Christmas, and I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
Thank you for entertaining my theories. My true crime.
We shall see.
We shall see. Well, do you have anything else for the good of the order?
No, I don't. I feel complete.
Same, same. Um, I'm gonna go drink some wine while I upload this on this slow ass internet.
Amazing. I love that for you.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week. Um, and we'll know who got hooked by then.
Happy hooking.
Bye.